The importance of parents and family are not discussed enough in our community. And by this I don't mean looks. Obviously looks are the most important thing and you get that from your parents, but more so how you were raised, the social economic class you were born into, how properly you were socialized from an early age, whether you are neurotypical. These also come down to your family. There should be a parenting license that people must have before being able to make children legally, because that action will have a direct impact on other people's lives. Just like if you have certain conditions, you can't drive legally and endanger others. But somehow this doesn't apply to people having children. Those kids they raised, like they are raising a potato. They will have consequences. And the fact is, a lot of people, I would say even most people, make absolutely horrendous parents. They make children just because they don't think things through. They don't want more out of life. They are content with mediocrity in life. They are the oofy doofies of life. And then they are passing their mediocrity down to their children, both men and women. Most women are also mediocre oofy doofies in life. Just because they don't demand more out of life, you are the one paying the price. It wasn't enough that you gave the kid shit genes, but you don't know how to do proper parenting either. They are either too negligent, they just leave the kid outside like they are growing a potato. Just leave it outside, man. He will grow in the sun. He's gonna grow on his own like a potato. Or, on the other side of this, they are overprotective. Obsessed parents that smother the child with study. Like, it goes both ways. Both of them hurt the child, his socialization process and emotional development. So when I see on Discord some guy spazzing out, oh my calculus, maths degrees, I can already tell he's either an immigrant himself or a first gen. I don't even need to ask. I can already tell what kind of family he's coming from. Can spot from a mile away, man. His parents raised him like study. I come from a similar parents myself. When I was a kid, I just wanted to play with other kids. I wanted to be outside. I couldn't live my childhood properly because of my parents. Oh, those kids will grow to be unemployed bums. They will grow to be druggies. Guys, trust me, I promise you this. Literally the opposite of it is true. I stalked their Instagram pages and none of them ended up to be bums. None of them are druggies. I feel like I got scammed. None of the things my parents taught me about life was worth a rat's ass. Life doesn't work like first generation families think. Connections are way more important than grades. Family appeal is so crucial, man. I can't stress this enough. A lot of people should not be allowed to be parents. I will tell you that. I will die on this hill. And I am not saying this, oh, only 10 out of 10 billionaire people should be able to make children. But you should be at least okay looking. You should be able to make logical decisions. You should be a well-adjusted, neurotypical person who has financial means to take care of a child. Like, you look at those people, and of course your child turned out the way he did. No wonder. Absolute brain dead rats. The lots of them. And that is the tragedy. We don't get to choose our parents. Some are born to overprotective, brain-dead parents, and some are born to negligent single mothers. 40% of all kids today in the US are born to single mothers. A lot of them have no father figure in their lives. A lot of them are being raised in just horrible conditions. Some face violence or even worse by their parents. There is no end to human suffering, man. There is really not. Imagine like some 3 out of 10 female went and made a child thanks to hypergamy and now you are stuck with her looks. And on top of that, you grow up broke. Ugly and broke. And no father figure. Like, there is no way, there is not a God. Some twisted fuck must have written this script, I will tell you that. Psychological effects of growing without a father in broken families shouldn't be underestimated. And physical too, honestly, not only psychological. A lot of kids grow up malnourished as well, and that can have permanent effects in life. So I am not sold that all this unchecked, rampant gynocentrism and hypergamy creates a good outcome for the overall well-being of the society. Like, today 40% of all kids are born to single mothers. How many of them are competent parents? And how many of them raise kids like Elliot? That begs the question. He was a typical example of this. Broken family? Check. Negligent, non-existent JBW father? Check. Neurodivergent? Check. And the result is obvious. Like I said, there should be a parenting license. I am saying this yet once again.
I didn't know I had a mentally unstable son. I had no idea.
He sent you links to these websites. Did you take him to Las Vegas hoping that he would lose his virginity?
Yeah.
But he didn't want to go?
He didn't want to go because he wanted to be loved for his heart.
You are a very good-looking man.
He was jealous of me the way that I looked.
And there's another facet of the family pill. This is also very important and kinda an extension of the family pill. The most important thing parents pass down to you are looks, of course, but whether you are neurotypical or not, if you properly learned how to socialize also plays a role in how you adjust in social situations. And I don't mean this as game or personality. I am not talking about those. I am talking about being neurotypical, not being on the spectrum, being able to read human body language, to pick up on nonverbal cues. Autism and Asperger's are genetic. That is not something you grow later in life. You get that from the genes your parents gave you. Parent pill strikes again. It wasn't enough that they gave you shit looks. It wasn't enough that they didn't let you socialize properly, but they also gave you a neurotypical disorder, which is also genetic. And you can always tell. A big sign of this is not being able to pick up on sarcasm. Someone in the group will make an obvious sarcastic comment and they will take it seriously. It is like you have to explicitly tell them everything. They can't interpret social situations. They can't read the room. Like, bro, that is not how person A talks to person B in that specific situation. I shouldn't even need to explain it. If I have to explain it, if you don't understand why he's pissed at you, it is already over. Sometimes I will make an obvious sarcastic joke and they will take it literally. One of the painful truths of comedy is this. You always take shots from folks who just don't get the joke. And by the way, just to clarify this, I am not saying that being neurotypical is more important than looks. Let me put it this way. Looks can override having Asperger's, but no amount of being neurotypical can overcome your attraction issues if you are a 5'5", balding, overweight guy. One of these two have the power to overrule the other, and that element is looks. But you really need to be a Chad in order to get away with having Asperger's or some other serious stuff. If you are a 5 out of 10, it is gonna mess up a lot of stuff for you in life. When I hear those guys tell me their stories, and just from the stuff they say, I can tell those guys could potentially bag the check, but they manage to mess it up, because they can't interpret the social situation. And the brutal thing is, you can't compensate for this with game or personality. You can't teach this, the natural ability to keep up a conversation, to be able to read the room. These are important, but all successful people have this skill naturally. This is not something you learn from a PUA. Newborn babies, literally only a couple months old babies can read facial expressions. And they don't learn it from a PUA body language course, I will tell you that. Facial expressions in humans are universal, not something learned. If you have to learn game to change people's perception of you, chances are you don't have this natural skill. You probably have autism. You are trying to create an artificial version of it. People can smell that. And it is not something a PUA can help, because it is not a positive science like 2 + 2. Body language cues, the meaning of split-second facial expressions change depending on specific circumstances. You cannot teach that. That is why I always say, if you find your way to PUA scammers, if you find yourself paying $700, $800 for a scam body language course, you know what the deal is. And the final thing to consider about family pill is the logistics and financial aspect that come with it. A kid who was born into a broken family in the slums of Baltimore never stood a chance. Oh, IQ and hard work, both are extremely overrated compared to luck. How many hardworking and smart kids are born in the Middle East who are getting bombarded to smithereens? IQ and hard work of course matter, but they are a much smaller part of the equation.
Congratulations, Joshua!
Congratulations, Joshua!
I'm graduating!
I'm graduating!
I have seen this clip posted on Reddit and people were laughing about it, as if this is something funny, and she had a good sense of humor. Meanwhile, I thought this video was really tragic. Such a tragic video, man. Like, on one hand, you have Joshua feasting, literally and figuratively, with his girlfriend. He's gonna tap that ass later that day. He's like 10, 15 years younger than the dudes in the second clip. And those guys in the second clip probably get paid like what, $5 to be dance monkeys on a video for a kid half their age. And people on Reddit think this is funny. Bro, this is a tragedy. The worst part in all this is that there is no real reason or cause for how things are. This isn't because of horrible crimes you committed in a past life. Our suffering is completely a byproduct of something random and arbitrary. Pure blind luck. There is no meaning to it. A lot of people try to make it mean something, make their suffering mean something, when the ugly truth of this life is, there is none. Everything is a product of pure luck. But I will talk to you guys in the next one. Till then, stay true.